Hey everyone, Lisa Ann here. First episode of my live Q&As. Trying to figure out how to... Oh, here we go. I think it's working now. Sorry, I turned my phone off. I'll just let some people come on first. Okay. All right, I think I'm live. So, hey guys, Lisa Ann here. Just wanted to jump on. We're going to do our first episode of Q&As. Today's will be meal prep as well as just some question and answer at the end if anybody has any. So today I'm going to hopefully show to you how to make a meal prep without feeling overwhelmed in the process. A lot of times people will tell me that they just feel super overwhelmed when they're trying to do meal preps, and that it just becomes a fiasco where they end up making more food than they need, or it just becomes something that, you know, they waste food or they make too much or they get tired of what they're making. And I honestly can totally relate to that because I am not the kind of person who wants to eat the same thing every day. I need variety. It keeps things interesting for me, keeps things exciting. So today we're going, or this evening, we're going to use chicken. So I went ahead and I have chicken breast here. I have 2 packs. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make an easy stir fry, and then I'm also going to make tacos. So who doesn't love tacos, right? So what you will need is a plastic bag. This is what I'm going to use to marinate the chicken. I just washed my hands too, very important. If any of you know me, you know that I am somewhat of a germaphobe, so we want to keep it clean. So I'm going to open up the chicken. And I'm going to put the chicken, so the same marinade that I'm going to use for everything, so let me rephrase that. I'm going to use the same marinade for both meals. So if you're just jumping on, I'm going to, Greg, this is somewhat organic, okay? Food supplies are dwindling. So let me, I thought I had a glove. I was going to use a glove, but I guess I'll use a fork. But I do like organic better. I definitely can't eat anything that's not organic beef, just because I definitely taste a difference. This though, honestly, I've had a hard time finding organic chicken. I don't know if any of you all have had that situation, but it's definitely been more tough to find. But then I can buy organic from Costco, but then I end up with like 10 pounds of chicken. And okay, this is kind of a weird thing too. I don't like to eat food that's been frozen. So I'm full of a bunch of weird little things that you'll find. But so if you're just jumping on, I'm going to make an easy chicken stir fry as well as chicken tacos. Tacos do not have to be unhealthy. The biggest thing for me is just to make sure that I'm using corn tortillas versus flour. I try really hard to stay away from flour because gluten and me are not friends. Makes my skin break out, makes me feel bloated. So it's definitely not something that I enjoy. So I have my chicken here. This is 2 packs. Have it in. I'm going to put my soy sauce in there because soy sauce is really a great marinade. And I really should have marinated this last night, but I wanted to show you how I did it. So I just kind of eye this. I also use Worcestershire. Did I say that right? Oops. There we go. So we're going to pour some of that in there. And then this isn't necessary, but I love spicy, so this is like a habanero hot sauce that I have. I really like it. So really, I mean, the point is you don't have to be, you know, by the book for how you season your meat. So now I'm just going to mix it around. I'm going to get, I do like Himalayan pink salt the best. For one, it's my favorite color, but for 2, it has a lot of antioxidants in it, and it's way better for you than table salt. Table salt, a lot of times, is not actual salt. It's mixed with just a bunch of stuff that you really don't want. So we're going to put that in there. My husband says this doesn't add any flavor, this salt, but I don't keep table salt in my house. I do keep garlic salt, though. I do like a little garlic salt. And sometimes I'll put raw garlic, too. So I think there's a misconception. People think that, oh, I need to, eat less sodium. Sodium's bad for you. Actually, Sodium is a very important electrolyte, and when you don't have enough sodium in your body, you can have headaches. You could even actually go into a seizure if your sodium levels were that low. So anybody that ever tells you to cut sodium, not a good idea. Sodium, when you cut sodium, it actually makes your body, our bodies are very smart, so our body will actually retain water when we try to cut sodium, so you can't trick your body. So I'm going to go ahead and just let that kind of marinate. Set that off to the side. Some other things I really am a fan of are glass containers. For one, they're better for the environment, and also I don't know if you've ever used the old school plastic containers, but they get like they're porous, so whatever food you've had in them starts to seep into the plastic. It's disgusting. So this is more eco-friendly, and they snap so they don't leak all over. Not like I'm traveling a lot with these babies these days, but I just prefer them. Plus they're kind of cute. So I got these on Amazon. I think I got a whole set for, I don't know, maybe $30 of like 20 of them. So they're really not too outrageous. So now I'm going to take you over to my little area over here. Hopefully you can see. Let's see if we can see. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go over what I'm going to make. So I'm marinating the chicken. I'm actually going to use frozen veggies for the stir fry. The reason for this is frozen veggies actually have a lot more nutrients than raw veggies, and the reason why is because they're fresher. So right when they're at their freshest peak, they're frozen. So it really does make a difference. That's going to be for the stir fry. I also just roasted some pecans. I'm a big fan of pecans, and I just do this in this non-stick avocado spray. You can get this from Costco, 2 of them for like 10 bucks, so it's really affordable. So that's going to go into the stir fry, and then we have the chicken. I have rice that I'm about to boil right now. That's part of the dog's food, so don't pay attention, don't eat that. The stuff I'm going to put into the stir fry, curry. If you don't like curry, definitely don't use this. Cayenne pepper, because hey, you know, we all need a little spice in our life. And then turmeric, which is a fabulous antioxidant. It's really good for your immune system. So if you're trying to get your body's immunity, I'm sorry if you can't see that. I know it's kind of bright in here. But turmeric, and I actually really enjoy the taste. So all of that is going to go into the stir fry. And then I just used, for the tacos, just regular little corn tortillas. So these are really great. I actually froze these, so I put them in the microwave just to kind of warm them up. I wanted to use avocado, but I didn't have time to run to the store, so we have some pico. Tomatoes really aren't my favorite, but we also have Cholula. And I also want to show you, too, this is my, if you could see, let's see. There we go. My cast iron skillet. This is a must for grilling. Cast iron skillets are really, truly the best, and you can find them for not too expensive. They're not great for seafood or for eggs, but they are really good for grilling meat. So then I have my fabulous air fryer here. This is the Ninja Foodie. I'm going to show you really quick how I make my sweet potato fries. This is just kind of a side thing that I'm going to have, and I'll use this in my meal prep tomorrow. So I get the Alexa non-GMO. There you go, Greg. Sweet potato fries. You can get waffle cut, or you can get just regular fry cut. And I'm going to open them up and just throw them in there in a second. I want to be able to give myself a little bit of time, though. So hold on one second. I'm going to throw the rice in. If I can find it. I think maybe I let that go too long. I need to add more water. Okay. And I'm actually using jasmine rice. I really like jasmine rice. I just like the way it tastes. I also like basmati. And then if there's another option, I'll usually go with brown rice, just because white rice is actually bleached. So it's really not the best. So with that being said, rice is cooking. Now I'm going to go over to the cast iron skillet. I'm going to turn that up, and I'm going to use my handy dandy avocado spray. This stuff is awesome, no fat, so this is definitely like my favorite. Chemical and soy free. Spray it on there. Soy is actually really bad for female organs, so if you are a female, And it really sucks because a lot of vegetarians end up eating soy, which is a big reason why I'm not vegetarian, even though I would like to be in theory. But soy is horrible for the female organs. So I'm going to go ahead and open up these veggies. I'm gonna do the veggies first. So one of my hacks is to try to use as little, try to use the same objects to cook. So you want to make sure, if you're cooking a stir fry, try to use the veggies first on that pan. So then that way you can, use the chicken right after. So we'll let those cook. This is a mix of broccoli, carrots, snap peas, and water chestnuts. I love water chestnuts. I think they're so yummy. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the trash. So now the veggies are going, the rice is boiling. I'm going to go ahead and add the sweet potatoes. We'll just throw those in there. And then this is so simple. All you do is just hit start. I usually put the temp up a little higher just because I like my sweet potato fries crispy. If you don't have an air fryer, oh my gosh, it's seriously a game changer. And we're going to actually do a full episode on just air fryers. But the air fryer I have, you can broil in it, you can dehydrate so you can make jerky or dried fruit. Great for camping, snacks for your kids. You can air fry sweet potatoes. You can make pretty much anything. Actually, I saw someone the other day who was making popcorn, fresh popcorn in their air fryer. So the biggest thing is just making sure that you're hitting your macronutrients each day, okay? So I think a lot of people get really stuck on the mindset that they need to weigh a certain weight or they need to, eat kibbles and bits and nuts and berries to achieve their goals, and that's really not true. So what's really true, so little nutrition fact, so everybody has what's called a BMR, basal metabolic rate. So this means this is what your body burns if you were sleeping, okay? So if you were sleeping all day and your body burned, so in my case, it's around 1,500 calories. That's my BMR. The last time I tested, that was years ago. The more muscle you build, the higher that BMR gets because muscle needs calories. But basically, you need to find out what that BMR is and then work within those lines of how much exercise you're doing and how much food you're eating. So one of the biggest weight loss secrets is that you need to eat often. If you are not eating often, your body will go into a state of survival and it will actually hold on to body fat as a means of survival. So I will repeat, one of the best ways to lose body fat is to eat more often. So meal prep is one of my most cherished things because it's so important to make sure that you are continuously prepping food so you have food ready. I'm the kind of person that preps every 2 to 3 days just because I'm not really a big fan of eating the same fish that's been in my fridge for 7 days. I'm not going to do that. So you got to find what works for you. So take what you will from this. It doesn't have to be set in stone. I still do weigh out my food though. So after it's all cooked, I'll show you how I do that. So chicken is marinating, we got the rice cooking, veggies are cooking, sweet potato fries are cooking. The beautiful part about this is once the chicken's ready, pretty much the tacos are done. And you can prep in these little containers 2 to 3 of those little mini tacos and if you're not someone who eats meat and you eat fish, you could do fish tacos. You could do, if you are a vegetarian, you could do seitan, you could do tofu, you could do any of that stuff just to kind of switch it up a little bit. So that's cooking. I'm going to go ahead and start chopping my jalapenos because you need jalapenos for both of these dishes in my opinion. Cut off the ends. But yeah, I just think making it more simplistic and not just making it a huge ordeal makes it so much simpler. So right now I have 3 or 4 things already going. So it's kind of setting that time aside each day to do it, or each couple days. The Instapot / air fryer is also really great for people that have big families and need to prep for multiple people. So it's really nice, I think, when kids learn what the benefits are of prepping, because when I was growing up, it was just kind of you heated up those nasty little Hot Pockets. And that's just how it was, because my parents would work and I would get home and I'd be hungry and I didn't really know how to cook back then. So you know, it's nice to show kids the value of, you know, cooking and just the power of nutrition, you know, because I think everyone can admit that we feel better when we eat well. So, I used to make sweet potato fries from scratch, and that just turned into a nightmare because sweet potatoes are like so super freaking hard, and they never came out right. They never would taste that great. So I ended up doing the ones that are pre-cut by Alexia, and I just love them. I think they're so tasty. I've compared the macros. They're essentially the same as sweet potatoes. So, you know, the truth is your body doesn't know if you're eating an actual sweet potato or Alexa sweet potato fry. What matters is that you're eating every couple of hours and you're constantly keeping your blood sugar at a stable pace, right? I've met people that literally will go all day and not eat, and then they're wondering why they feel like shit all the time, and it's because your blood sugar is on a roller coaster, and it affects your hormones, it affects your thyroid, it affects your emotions, you know, and especially just in, you know, just in general, we really want to make sure we're nurturing ourselves, whether it be, you know, hanging around with positive people, hanging around with, you know, people that inspire us, people that really believe in us, that push us. You know, because it is important to eat right, but it's also important not to hang out with assholes. I've learned that, so firsthand. So, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt, and really just try to focus on yourself. You know, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of like, oh, I'll put it off. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll just get something quick to eat. You know, that is one of the things I do not miss is going out to eat, because you really have no control over what they're putting in your food. And I just like my cooking better. I feel better when I cook my own food. So let me stir these veggies around. All right. So I have my jalapenos chopped. I probably didn't do that great of a job at chopping them, but that's okay. Okay. So, does anybody that's watching have any questions, like as far as like meal prep goes, or just maybe some ideas that, or questions they may have as far as, you know. Well, if you do, just write it in the comment box, and we can totally answer them. We as in me and my dog over here. All right, so I'm going to get another pan, and I'm going to start the chicken up. The sweet potatoes are going, so you'll see when these sweet potato fries are done, they look so amazing, and they're made with no oil. They taste amazing. My other cast iron skillet out now. I'm going to go ahead, spray the pan with the avocado oil. And the other good thing about avocado is you can use heat up to 500 degrees. If you try to use something like olive oil, it's going to burn, and it actually releases a chemical that's really, really not good for you. So I really like avocado. Coconut's not bad, but I don't really always want my food to taste like coconut, so avocado's probably my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this chicken on the... Okay. All right, so the chicken is rocking. I'm going to put a little more salt and some pepper on there, to make sure I got everything covered. Perfect. All right. Prep Life, great tip. Aw. Nice to see you, Linda. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you, girl. So, everything's cooking. And I guess this is a good time to talk about the live workouts I'll be doing. These will be on Saturdays and Sundays. 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you can jump on if you're a client for free. If you just want to check it out and you want to get a workout in, it's $10 drop-in. If you're interested, you can message me on my website or via Facebook. But it's gonna be really a fun time. We're gonna have different themes for each workout, so it'll always be a new workout. So you'll never get bored. All you need are some dumbbells, a yoga mat, and then a resistance band. So you can do it right in the comfort of your own home. I mean, I know the gym is definitely, it's one of my sanctuaries, but right now, you know, the home workouts, I actually call them prison workouts. They definitely get the job done, so I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Most of my clients will be joining this weekend, so I'm really excited to see all of them, and I'm really just excited for this opportunity in general. So, all right, so chicken is cooking, veggies are cooking, we got the rice. Let's see if the rice is doing well. And that's something too that I love so much about Costco. I will buy protein from there sometimes. I don't really buy my veggies from there just because I feel like it's so much and then it goes to waste, and I hate wasting food. But I'll buy stuff like Cholula from there, my avocado oil, soy sauce, sea salt. So I buy a lot of my necessities from there. Rice, that kind of thing. Rice, what else do I get from there? I'll get nuts from there. But if I'm just going and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do chicken for the next few days, I'll just get it from, I like going to Safeway personally because it's smaller and it's really close to my house. But, you know, I think it's just kind of like Costco. The whole idea is just getting stuff you know you're going to use. So yeah, I never leave there without spending a few $100, but it's stuff that I know that I'll use and that will last me a long time. This probably won't last me that long just because I love hot sauce, but it definitely makes it just easier, because if you're trying to buy this kind of stuff at a regular grocery store, you're going to spend a fortune, and you're not going to get a lot for your money. So I think it's wise to be strategic when it comes to meal prepping, because you don't want to get, you want to think beforehand, what exactly am I going to make, and what do I need, what do I have already, what do I need to get from the store. That way you can really be prepared versus scrambling around like I was as a kid, throwing a Hot Pocket in the microwave, just because Hot Pockets are gross. You don't want to eat one of those. I'm going to grab my scale, hold tight. I left my scale downstairs, so I'm going to go grab it here in just a moment. Let me check on the sweet potato fries. Chicken's doing good. A lot of times I'll mix the sweet potato fries around just because I want them to be evenly cooked. So it won't like hurt you or anything just to open the lid and kind of stir it around. But that Ninja Foodie is like by far the best investment I've ever made. You don't need an actual air fryer. You could use an Instapot. You could use an old school crock pot. But the air fryer really is amazing. I use it probably every day. So let's see how it's going over here. So I'm just seasoning the vegetables that we're going to use for the stir fry. Because you got to have seasoning, otherwise it's not going to taste very good. Okay, rice is doing pretty good. We're just waiting on the chicken. I'm going to go grab my scale, so sit tight, grab a drink. All right, now it's starting to smell pretty good up here. So I just have like a regular scale from Amazon. My husband had it down in the basement, so I had to go find it. But I know a lot of people already know how to use scales, but I'm just going to go over it with you just to show you. Because for a long time, I actually didn't even know what I was doing exactly with this. So very important. You'll turn it on, obviously. You want to make sure that it's in ounces, okay? So when you put the Tupperware on there, you have to hit tare. That means essentially it's taking away the weight of the Tupperware. So now when I put food in there, it's going to actually weigh it accurately, versus if I were to have just set that on there, it would be counting the Tupperware as weight as well. So that's an important thing, I think, to remember. So we'll pretend these pecans are food, like the whole meal. So we're going to put those in there. So that's 1.48 ounces, okay? So let's say we're going to do 2 ounces of veggies, right? So we're going to put 2 ounces of veggies in. Let's hold on. Tare. Oh, and sometimes it'll turn the whole thing off if you hit tare too many times. I've learned that too. There we go. Ah. And you definitely want to make sure it's on like a level area. There we go. Okay, so if we were to do 2 ounces of veggies and then let's say 3 ounces of protein, we would go ahead, put the veggies in. Let's pretend that says 2 ounces. Then we're going to add another 3 ounces of protein, so that's going to equate 5 ounces. Then we can add our 2 ounces of carbohydrate on there too, so that's going to be 7 ounces in total. So I know that seems like such a simplistic thing, but it really is something that can be kind of confusing at times. So just making sure that you are actually, I'll turn that light off. That might be better. That might be better. There we go. That you are actually weighing things. I mean, you don't have to get obsessive over it, but it's very easy to, when you're eyeing food, to go over or go under. And you want to make sure you're hitting your protein. You want to make sure you're hitting your fat. You want to make sure you're hitting your carbs. So, oh, here we go, Linda. Is it better to eat the green veggies as opposed to other veggies like carrots and prep meals? Carrots do have more sugar, so you are getting more sugar in when you're eating carrots, but greens are actually very alkaline for your body, meaning disease cannot live in an alkaline environment. So in my opinion, I do think greens are better, but I still think carrots are good for you. I mean, they have beta carotene in them. They're good for your eyes. So they do have a lot of health benefits as well, but I wouldn't personally have them as my sole vegetable. Greens are definitely more ideal, but again, you do want variety. So like for doing this stir fry that I'm doing, I definitely want to have some variety in there, because if I were to just have broccoli, it would kind of take away the allure of the variety. So hopefully that answers your question. Again, it just comes back to making sure you're getting nutritious food in and you're hitting your macronutrients, because that is really the best way to approach fitness and health, because otherwise it turns into eating disorder mentality, and we don't want that. So we have to really try hard to focus on feeding ourselves, giving ourselves healthy foods, healthy fuel, because that's really what's going to serve us. I think when we focus too much, and I've been there, I did that. I used to be the kind of person that was like, no, I'm only going to eat tilapia and broccoli every day, and it burns you out. I actually had like an aversion to tilapia for a long time. I still can't eat tilapia, honestly. Like I'll eat mahi, or I even would eat some trout. But yeah, tilapia just, it really, really disturbs me at this point. But it's because I ate so much of it, and you can develop allergies or aversions to certain foods if you eat too much of it. So with that being said, I think it's important to have variety, and I think it's important to not have the restrictive mindset, because when we have that, bad things happen. And it's kind of like telling an alcoholic to never have a drink again. That it's better for you to focus just on this day ahead of us, and just focus on like, okay, today I'm going to have this. All right, I had a cheat meal on Friday, but I'm going to eat really clean for the rest of the week, and I'm really going to eat nutritious. So make sure I hit my macros. And not every day is going to be perfect. So, I mean, that's just, I think for me, that's been a huge undertaking, is just to like acknowledge that it's not going to always be perfect, you know. Some good other than sweet potatoes and quinoa. So you can do Lentils are okay. You could do like beans, so that would be good. You could do, if you don't like sweet potatoes, you could do white potatoes actually. I mean, white potatoes, they can possibly spike your insulin, but if you're not someone who's super sensitive to that, Linda, I don't think that you would be. I mean, I'll still eat white potatoes, but I do feel like it inflames me after I eat them. So it really depends on your body, and you have to listen to your body. Rice would be a really good alternative. You could also do, what's another good one? I'm trying to think of, they actually have like a quinoa rice mix and those ready to make like little bags of rice. I don't know if you've seen those. You like put them in the microwave. Those are a good option. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just getting creative. Oh, and then let me see if I have some. This is actually, yeah, I love this. So this is these are pasta made from chickpeas. So there's no gluten in these, and they actually have quite a bit of protein. So for one serving, 13 grams of protein for 2 ounces. So that's a lot for 2 ounces, 13 grams of protein. So these are great, and you can make yourself pasta and not feel guilty about it. So hold on, something's burning. Let's see. I think the sweet potatoes are done. Yep. Okay, so check these sweet potatoes out. You can see how amazing an air fryer is. So those are just so delicious. Of course, I would put sea salt on them. Put sea salt on everything. Those are absolutely delicious, but I've tried and tried to make sweet potatoes before I had an air fryer in the oven, and they were not good. They were actually kind of hard, so I definitely would not suggest trying to make them in the oven unless you have a secret that I don't know. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Linda, but these are really good. You know, you can do white rice, brown rice. You could even make like a cool little like low-fat fried rice with like some eggs and rice, and then like some soy sauce and like some peas and carrots. So that would be yummy too. You know, just getting kind of creative with it, I think, is the biggest thing. You could even do gluten-free toast, Linda. So, Linda, gluten-free toast, you could do avocado toast in the morning with like an egg on top. I actually did a gluten-free toast sandwich earlier today with turkey on it, and it was really, really good, turkey and avocado. So it's just about kind of getting creative, making sure you're tracking your macros, and making sure that you are not overindulging on those macronutrients, because it's very easy to do. For me, carbs and protein are harder for me to hit than fat. Like I love fat, so that is never a problem for me to hit that part of my macros. But you learn different things about your body, and you find out like, oh, okay, I feel really good when I eat. Like for me, I feel really like just fulfilled when I eat sweet potatoes. Like I just feel good. Some people like hate sweet potatoes. They don't like them, you know. Some people are not a big fan of white rice. So, you know, so you just got to kind of find out like what feels good to you, and what you'll know your body speaks to you. You just have to listen. A lot of times we just don't listen to our bodies until it's too late, and then our bodies end up turning on us, and then we're like, wait a minute, why? So I think avocado toast is amazing too. It's really yummy. All right, so chicken is cooking. Veggies are almost there. I'm trying to learn to get better, guys, but sometimes I burn food, so don't judge me. But I'm trying to get better at it. I'm not, what's that guy? Wolfgang Puck over here, okay? So I'm cutting these nuts up right now, just because I don't want like a big piece of pecan in my stir fry. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the nuts up. My dogs are like, why don't you feed us? We're hungry. Why are you cooking all this good food and not feeding us? You guys get to eat after. All right, so I cut the nuts up. I'm going to throw that into... I'm going to throw some of the jalapenos into the stir fry just because I just love jalapenos. They're truly one of my favorite foods. The chicken is still cooking. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of show you what the chicken's looking like, but it looks very, very hydrated and tender, but that's because I'm cooking it on a cast iron skillet, which really retains a lot of the flavor. Plus, Teflon pans are really, really toxic to us. They can actually the Teflon gets scratched off the pan, and then we can absorb it into our body. So it's really a thing of the past, I think, that people are moving away from, but I still do have a couple Teflon pans, but one of these days I would like to invest in, not a cast iron skillet, but there's like another one. I can't remember the name, but it's like, I think it's made of copper. So if any of you have any suggestions of good cooking pans, I'm going to turn this off again because it's blinding me. If you have any good suggestions for like good cooking pans, please let me know, because I definitely, I'm trying to get rid of my Teflon pans. I just don't think they're very healthy, and Teflon definitely is very toxic to humans. So if you want to check out what I got going on so far, so we do have the stir fry going. I have pecans in there, and then 2 bags of frozen veggies, and then I have my rice right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rice into the pan with the veggies. I made way more than I thought I did. Okay. So now I'm going to turn on the burner, but I'm not going to put it on super high because this stuff's already pretty cooked. I'm going to mix everything around. And then I'm going to add some eggs. Just 2. Okay, so I'm just going to add 2 eggs. We'll try to get some moisture in there. So this is what I was talking about, Linda, for the stir fry, putting the eggs in there. It just gives it some nice flavor. I really like it. And you know what, I think I might actually put another egg in there because I put way too much rice in here, I think. So you get what you get. So now we have 3 eggs in here, but this is definitely going to last me quite a few days. If I was like cooking for other people, I mean, my husband will eat my meal preps, but if I was like cooking for family, this would probably last them a couple days, I would say. So, okay, so that's cooking. Chicken's almost done. Something too that I am a big advocate of is making sure, I'm going to point it over here, that you cut your chicken up, okay? So let's see how cooked this is. Looks pretty good. Oops. Yeah, looks pretty good, but I'm still going to grill it in here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead, chop it up. And actually, I'm going to put this back in here for a second. I don't know why I did that. Hold on. I'll put that back in there because I'm going to use some of those for tacos. So we'll just keep stirring this. So this is pretty much done. It looks so good right now too. I'm actually really hungry right now, so I'm excited to eat this. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these up so they get evenly cooked, because I don't know if you've ever had the experience where you have like chicken breasts and they just like parts of them are cooked but not all of them. So I just cut them up with scissors. Just is so much easier for me. We'll let that cook a little longer. I've had food poisoning a couple times in my life, so I definitely suggest cooking your meat thoroughly, because that is not fun. So in total, this probably is going to take me, so we've been on for about 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes. So this whole meal prep from start to finish, because I didn't really prep a lot before I got on. you know, I usually do it at night when I'm like kind of winding down, and my husband will usually be watching like sports or something. And so I'll just come in here and I'll usually make dinner for that night, but then also while I'm doing that, I'll also do meal prep. So that way I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. My breakfast, I'll just cook in the morning. I'll either have the avocado toast, or I'll do oatmeal with some pecans, some sort of berry, and then some eggs. So the breakfast is pretty easy, especially right now because I'm working from home. But, you know, you can do your shakes. You don't really need to prep, obviously. And snacks. So we'll do a whole episode on different snacks eventually, but some of the snacks I love to just have ready to go are celery. So I could do like celery with a buffalo wing sauce. That's something I really like to snack on. Celery is actually a negative calorie food. So when you eat celery, not only is it great for fiber, but it actually requires your body calories to break down celery. So it's super fibrous. It's really, really good for your gut. It basically, if you can imagine a broom, it basically works as a broom brushing out your intestines. So that's what I mean by super fibrous. And that's something else to kind of think about too, is like there's two types of carbohydrates. There's soluble and non-soluble. So I mean, like for instance, celery is a carbohydrate, but it's not a complex carbohydrate in this terms of like rice or sweet potatoes or oatmeal. That's going to be slow digesting and give you a lot of energy. Whereas like celery will give you some energy, but it's not the same. So, but then there's simple carbohydrates, which are sugar. So that would be like bananas, strawberries, berries of any sort, apples. Those are going to give you a fast spike of energy. That's why it's ideal to eat your fruit post-workout, because what that sugar actually does is it pushes insulin to the muscle belly, so the muscle belly can expand, and then therefore the muscle can actually grow back more effectively. So ideally, unless you're someone who's a hard gainer, meaning your body just eats calories like crazy and it's really hard for you to put on weight or muscle, fruit is probably something you just want to eat post-workout with your shake. Just some, you know, you can do it in the morning for a little burst of energy, but I remember when I first became a trainer and I worked at Bally's, and I remember almost every woman I would talk to I would be like, okay, well, what do you eat? She'd be like, well, in the morning I'll have an apple, and then I'll have a banana, and then I'll have a sandwich, and then I'll have some strawberries. I'm like, so basically you're eating sugar all day. And she's like, no, I'm eating fruit. And I'm like, well, fructose is a sugar, so anything with a toast on the end is sugar. So fructose, even though it's good for you, it is a sugar. So you want to be mindful of it, you know, and use it for your benefit. Learn the rules so you can learn how to break them in your benefit. Don't let food use you. You know, it's you don't want to be a slave to it. You want to use it for fuel. You want to use it to feel good, to get your muscle gains. You don't want to use it as an emotional crutch or something just to give you a quick high, because it will. It definitely will. Okay, chicken is looking good. We're almost there. Thanks for being patient, guys. I didn't realize how thick this chicken was. Pretty thick. Okay. So, dun, 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 dun. All right, back to over here, and we're going to weigh this out. Okay. So again, you'll just hit unit or tare. Put it on there. It's going to give you a weird random number. Hit tare until it hits zero, until it zeroes out. So this is rice and veggies. So we're going to say 4 ounces. That was a little bit over. There we go. Now for chicken, 3 ounces. So that's going to be 7 in total. Again, that went over. See why it's so important to weigh it out? Because it's like you could think that meat is like dense. So you never really, I'm going to have to cut one of those in half. See? Kitchen scissors, they come in handy. All right, perfect. And right there, that's 1 meal. Put this down. Of yummy goodness. You can also add some additional soy sauce, which I definitely will because I am a condiment person. So we're going to add some soy sauce. And voila, meal 1, okay? Put the lid on. that's done. So now, turn the burners off because they are cooked. So now I have these taco shells. My shirt's on there. I have these taco shells. These are just regular corn, white tortillas. Just make sure they're corn. Like I said, flour is not your friend. Anything gluten, some people can handle it. I honestly, took me a really long time to learn that gluten is not something that's good for my body. And really the way I learned was by doing bodybuilding. I would do a show, I'd get super lean, my body would be like optimal, and then I would go and have a cheat meal and I'd eat something like, who knows, like gluten, and then a few days later, well actually not even a few days later, a few days later I would feel super bloated and just like, ugh. But then about a month later, my back would start breaking out in acne, and that's because gluten is essentially glue, and it is my personal belief that gluten is the root cause of a lot of inflammatory illnesses that have just, came up in the last 20 years. And it's because it takes so long for gluten to process through our bodies, and it's in so much of our food supply. It's a filler, so they use it to fill food out, make it bind, and it's really, really bad for you. Some people, I think, are just used to eating it, but I also think that a lot of people would feel a lot better if they didn't eat it. So that's just what I think, though. But so now we're going to do the tacos. I'm going to do 2 tacos because I really don't need 3 tacos. So we'll do 6 ounces of protein. So I'm going to weigh out the protein first. Ooh, I was close. Yeah. Too much. So now I got the taco or the meat ready. I'm just gonna put these little taco shells like in here, like already folded, like so. And it's not like you need to eat tacos every night, but it's just nice to be able to feel like a normal human and like have like tacos. So if your family's like, hey, we really want tacos tonight, you can do that, right? It doesn't have to be some crazy thing where you're like, no, I can't eat tacos. Yes, you can, just don't eat the flour ones. All right, so 6 ounces here, so 3 per taco. I'm gonna throw that in, throw that in. Okay. All right. Get that out of the way. I have my jalapeno. If you like onion, you can do fresh onion. And then I have some pico de gallo here too that I'm going to add on there. Tomatoes do have sugar in them, so just be mindful of that. Tomatoes are not my favorite thing to eat, but I do actually like pico de gallo, which is really weird because, I mean, that's pretty much what pico is tomatoes. So I don't know why these are okay. But if like I were to eat like a chopped tomato, and voila. And then Cholula, of course, but I won't add that yet until I eat it. And then I'm going to show you. And voila, chicken tacos. So that's a really easy way to make 2 completely different dishes with the same kind of ingredients. Of course, there's a few things that are different with both of them, but I think it's just trying to make it more simplistic for you. We finished this whole meal prep in about 15 minutes. So with everything that I cooked, I'll probably end up having about 12 meals. So that'll be perfect for the next 3 days, 4, 8, 12. And then I'll figure out my protein shake, and then I'll do my own breakfast. And then if I want snacks, I can do that as well. We're going to do more recipes and more, cooking episodes. I'm going to have more special guests. This will be every Friday night at 6 p.m. So I'm really excited to just be here with you guys and learn some stuff too from you. And if you have any questions or the things that you might want me to talk about or share, I'm more than happy to take suggestions. I really, really enjoy just the connection with you all, and I hope that these recipes help you. If you actually need the recipes written down verbatim, let me know. I'm happy to send that to you. And happy cooking, and thank you guys so much. And before I end, are there any other questions? Thanks again for being on, Linda. I appreciate it. All right, you guys. Thanks so much, and take care. And don't forget, live workouts every Saturday, Sunday at 11 a.m. If you would like to join, please reach out to me. I'll send you the Zoom link. And thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Bye.